Hello, and thanks for joining us for this special edition of Capital Tonight. I'm Paul Brown with Gardner Selby from the Austin American-Statesman, the editor for PolitiFact Texas, and we are here in the new year. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year!
It's always a great chance to look back, and we wanted to look back at some of the most popular fact checks that PolitiFact Texas has done over the years.
Those fact checks that were most viewed online at PolitiFactTexas.com during 2014.
So first we want to just kind of let people know how you look at these things, how you gauge the interest, and we want to show an image here. This is a Ted Cruz file, and talk about this and just what people in general can always find on PolitiFact here.
Any group, any person who's been fact-checked by PolitiFact Texas ends up having a file or a report card on the PolitiFact Texas or the PolitiFact National website. And there, as you can see all the ratings of their statements over time. It gives you, at least at a glance, a sense of what we have actually fact-checked and how those came out on the Truthometer.
And how do you do this? Because this isn't just Gardner Selby decides this is true or false or pants on fire.
No, it's not that way. At the Austin American-Statesman, when we fact-check something, we research it, we write it, then we take it into a room where 3 American-Statesman editors ask questions. Sometimes they ask for more research. And then eventually they discuss it and decide what the rating of the claim is. That's how we get to the Truthometer rating. Three editors discussing and then voting.
Okay, so enough with these preliminaries. We're going to get right to it, and let's look at some of the most popular PolitiFact checks of the year. Start us off here with this hit parade for 2014's edition.
Sure. Near the top of our 2014 hit parade, it was a Facebook post out of California.
Let's take a look at it here.
Okay.
This is interesting
here. Not
here.
to be accurate. This has to do, it's kind of hard to tell on the screen there, but it has to do with a pretty dramatic claim about a marijuana sentence in Texas.
Okay, and so tell us about this here. A Texas judge did not sentence a man to death for possessing marijuana, correct?
No, there's no judge who did that. In fact, the story or the Facebook post was based on the idea that a judge in Austin did this.
Okay, and what was that issue again here?
That issue was whether or not a man convicted for a 3rd time of possession of a small amount of marijuana could be handed a death sentence by a Texas judge.
That sounds a little steep there. So, okay, well, that one's interesting. This is a mugshot that we'll see, and got a lot of play. A lot of people have seen this mugshot. Tell us about this, because this was another kind of incorrect online post here. Right?
That's right. The idea here was this inmate on death row in Texas requested a child for his last meal.
So you're saying that this is not true? This did not occur?
There's nothing to that. We did credit, when we did the story on this, the debunkists, if I can say that word, debunkists at Snopes.com. That's a website, for blowing the whistle first on this. You know, they got a story out there, but we also reached by email the Belgian website that started this ridiculous tale, this fictional tale, and we asked them, why did you do it? You know what they said back?
Because
that was fun.
Okay.
Fun.
Well, again, we get to see his mugshot once again. Let's look back at the governor's race. Of the most popular fact checks, something related to the matchup between Wendy Davis and Greg Abbott meet this?
Right.
This
Greg
list?
Abbott, Wendy Davis for governor, Democrat, of course, Wendy Davis. Just one of our fact checks in that race ended up drawing the most reader attention online. That was a check of an early Wendy Davis TV ad about Greg Abbott when he was a justice on the Texas Supreme Court. Of course, he's been Attorney General up to now, becoming governor.
In case anybody hasn't seen it, here is that ad. Let's look.
6, 1993, a pleasant spring day in Seguin, Texas. But for one woman, it quickly became a nightmare. A Kirby vacuum salesman came to her door to offer an in-home demonstration, and while her children slept in the very next room, the salesman brutally raped the young mother. The salesman was a sexual predator on probation, but the Kirby vacuum cleaner distributor had failed to perform a routine background check on him. The woman and her husband went all the way to the Texas Supreme Court, fighting for their right to sue Kirby. 6 judges, Democrats and Republicans, ruled in their favor, and they won. But Greg Abbott sided with the company against the victim, saying the company had no responsibility. Thank God this time, Greg Abbott lost.
A lot of people saw this ad, and remind us what PolitiFact did with this ad and what you thought.
Right, we took a hard look at the statement about whether or not Abbott had sided with the company and agreed that they had no responsibility. Our editors rated this claim mostly true, but there was some clarification needed.
Okay.
Because Abbott, in his dissent from this ruling, his disagreement with the court majority, stressed that an agreement between the vacuum cleaner manufacturer and distributors explicitly gave full responsibility for that hiring to the distributors. And for that reason, he thought, well, wait a minute, the responsibility lies with the actual entity that did the hiring, not the manufacturer. And at least that was his explanation for taking that position in the case.
Well, it was definitely a key moment in the campaign, and the Davis campaign thought this was going to be a very important ad. As it turned out, we know the outcome of the ultimate race here. So we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll reveal more of the most read PolitiFact Texas fact checks of 2014. Then a little bit later, we'll have the lie of the year out of Washington.
Lie of the year?
Yes, we'll be right back.